Be prepared. Today, April 5th, as the magnificent Sun makes its entrance into the expansive realm of Jupiter, something ancient, profound, and utterly unmistakable begins to stir within the very geometry of your destiny. This isn't merely a celestial alignment. It is a momentous occasion where the universe itself leans forward, drawing intimately close and whispering a vital truth directly into the innermost chambers of your heart. You've likely already felt this profound shift, sensing its presence even before you could consciously name it. Perhaps as a subtle pressure in your chest, an unexpected surge of clarity, or a quiet, persistent awareness that a powerful new energy was rising within you. Consider this message, your definitive confirmation. Before we delve deeper into this transformative journey, I invite you to breathe with conscious intention. If your intuition is already tingling, if you profoundly sense that this message is custom-made for you, then please subscribe and share your insights in the comments below. Because this transmission is far from passive content, it is, in essence, an initiation. As the radiant sunlight merges with Jupiter's vast, benevolent, and expansive vibration, a hidden gateway within your emotional field, what we call your shadow heart portal, begins its gentle unfurling. It awakens with a slow, deliberate, and undeniably ancient pulse, as though it's recalling a sacred contract signed long before this current lifetime. You might find an old, familiar longing resurfacing from the depths, or a sudden, vivid memory you were convinced had long since dissolved. You may even feel the universe applying a soft, almost tender pressure on your sternum, a profound invitation to pay close attention. Tonight, the cosmos isn't just speaking to you. It is actively calling you back to reclaim the truest version of yourself, the one you inadvertently left behind somewhere along your journey. Before we proceed further into this deep dive, I want to briefly share something special I've created for those who feel genuinely ready to revolutionize how they think about, feel about, and energetically connect with money. My new audiobook, Inner Wealth Rising, offers a unique pathway to upgrade your financial identity. It guides you through a process of emotional alignment and energetic clarity, a gentle yet powerful approach that moves beyond the typical pressures and relentless hustle. Most individuals don't realize that their persistent money limitations often stem from deeply embedded old patterns and nervous system stories, rather than any perceived lack of effort or inherent capability. This audiobook provides practical, soul-aligned guidance to help you gracefully release scarcity mindsets and consciously step into a sustainable, abundant wealth frequency. The link to explore it can be found in the description and the pinned comment. I encourage you to explore it and initiate this pivotal shift if its message resonates deeply with you. When the Sun gracefully steps into Jupiter's sacred domain, your often dominant rational mind begins to quiet, humbled and awestruck in the profound presence of something far more intuitive, ancient, and intrinsically wise. During this potent transit, your emotional intelligence doesn't just surface, it rises majestically, much like a forgotten oracle returning to its rightful, luminous throne. And within the sanctuary of your being, that very shadow heart portal begins to shimmer and pulse with intensified energy. This portal is a sacred repository holding every feeling you meticulously postponed, every uncomfortable truth you instinctively silenced, every desire you secretly feared would derail your life, every attachment you desperately struggled to release, and every tenderness you perhaps unknowingly denied yourself. As this profound portal activates, your entire inner landscape becomes vividly illuminated. Memories sharpen with uncanny, almost surreal detail. Faces, cherished places, pivotal conversations, forgotten sensations, all emerge from the depths of your subconscious, with a clarity that feels both eerily familiar and utterly foreign. You may find yourself feeling as though you're standing in a dream woven from past timelines, observing fragments of your former self, gracefully moving through years, pivotal choices, and intense emotions you were certain you had long outgrown. But let me be clear, this is not regression. This is unequivocally reclamation. The universe isn't showcasing what once was merely for you to mourn its passing. It is revealing what still vibrantly lives within you, so you can finally, deeply understand it. You are not being pulled backward into the past. You are being pulled profoundly inward into the radiant core of your truth. There exists a profound and undeniable reason why your heart still cherishes the memory of those individuals you could never quite bring yourself to fully close the door on. During this potent Sun-Jupiter alignment, the universe is meticulously unveiling the intricate architecture behind your most unfinished love stories. Every single connection that lingered, resonating deeply within your spirit, was never a mistake, a failure, or a mere accident of timing. Instead, it was a soul contract, momentarily paused, but never truly ended. You didn't genuinely lose them, nor did you ruin anything irrevocably. You simply encountered them at a specific juncture when your soul was not yet fully prepared for the immense magnitude of transformation that such a profound connection inherently required. These were not merely relationships. They were, in truth, initiations. They were profound prophecies, patiently waiting to unfold only when both souls were truly ready to embody the highest versions of themselves that the connection inherently demanded. The shadow heart portal now shines an illuminating light on the profound truth behind every almost, every too soon, every too late, and every not yet. These were never ultimate endings. They were powerful echoes, suspended gracefully within your timeline, patiently awaiting their destined moment for healing, profound clarity, and expansive growth. What the universe is graciously returning to your conscious awareness now is not a mere ghost from your past, but rather a vital lesson, a deeper meaning, a sacred purpose you were always destined to grow into. Some narratives, some profound stories, never truly close because they are simply not meant to. They are intricately woven and written across multiple lifetimes. If your heart has felt unusually heavy lately, as if a profound gathering of emotions is forming like storm clouds just behind your ribs, know that this very heaviness is sacred. When the sun's radiant light illuminates Jupiter's vast, spiritual, and all-encompassing territory, every suppressed emotion, every unexpressed feeling, rises like ancient sediment stirred from the deepest, most quiet bottom of a boundless ocean. While some of this profound heaviness undoubtedly belongs to this current lifetime, a significant portion does not. Much of it originates from incarnations long forgotten, from times where your soul loved with immense bravery, lost with profound pain, and carried deep wounds that were never fully healed or acknowledged. These powerful emotional residues have patiently gathered within your shadow heart, waiting for a moment precisely like this. A cosmic opening, grand enough, expansive enough, to finally release them. The deep pressure you might be feeling is not the precursor to collapse. It is, in fact, the vibrant beginning of your liberation. Your heart is expanding, stretching bravely against the protective boundaries you meticulously built around it. The profound weight in your chest is the tangible sensation of old, stagnant energy preparing to dissolve into nothingness. You are not breaking down. You are gracefully breaking open. You are not being overwhelmed. You are being profoundly remembered. Your heaviness is not a symptom of weakness. It is the sacred and arduous labor of your soul, diligently releasing what no longer belongs in the magnificent tapestry of your becoming. As this powerful transit deepens its influence, a magnificent version of you, one that existed long before the wounds, the crushing disappointments, the gnawing self-doubt, and the countless compromises, begins to powerfully emerge. This is the authentic version that remembers everything: the sacred vows, the intricate soul contracts, the complex karmic entanglements, and the promises whispered across countless dimensions. You may suddenly experience a startling clarity about someone or something, a quiet yet absolute certainty that defies any logical explanation. You might find yourself intrinsically knowing profound truths you never formally learned, recognizing intricate patterns you never consciously studied, or recalling deep connections you never consciously labeled as profoundly important. This, my friend, is your ancient self resurfacing. The primal you that existed long before survival tragically became your foremost priority. The Sun and Jupiter, in their celestial dance, are creating a luminous, reflective chamber where your soul's deepest memories flood back into your conscious emotional awareness. You begin to remember, with astonishing clarity, that intuition was once your first, most natural language, and unconditional love was always your truest compass. This profound version of you was never truly lost. It was merely buried beneath layers of experience and protective mechanisms. And now, as the portal widens with divine grace, it rises triumphantly from within, breathing life and truth through you once more. You are not simply becoming someone new, you are profoundly returning to someone eternal. Under the influence of this powerful alignment, your heart initiates a profound recalibration, adjusting itself in ways you simply cannot anticipate or consciously control. Old emotional patterns that once rigidly dictated your choices now feel remarkably unfamiliar, even foreign, as if you've effortlessly outgrown their very frequency overnight. You might experience spontaneous waves of emotion without any identifiable external cause. Sudden, inexplicable tears, unexpected surges of relief, or moments of profound, unbidden clarity. Yet, understand that these waves are not chaotic. They are powerful, cleansing currents, moving purposefully through your emotional field. This is the heart's reset. The Sun, amplifying Jupiter's inherent wisdom, is actively burning away the distortions you once accepted as undeniable truth. You begin to clearly discern precisely where your heart closed itself off out of fear, rather than being guided by pure intuition. You start to realize the specific instances where you deliberately shrank yourself to belong in places your soul had already profoundly outgrown. You feel the old, tired narratives losing their suffocating power, dissolving as if their very foundation has finally cracked and crumbled. This heart reset is not a gentle process. It is undeniably profound. You may feel utterly vulnerable, exposed and raw, yet simultaneously you are becoming incredibly clear, authentically true to yourself, and profoundly awake. This reset isn't erasing what you've lived through, it is instead courageously rewriting the deeper meaning of it all. It is meticulously preparing you to feel again, but from a higher, fuller, and undeniably truer version of yourself. There is an undeniable, powerful truth, intricately weaving its way through this transformative transit. You are absolutely not the only one undergoing this profound metamorphosis. Somewhere, in the quiet, sacred spaces of their own soul, another heart is stirring and awakening in perfect tandem with yours. Someone whose energy has subtly brushed against your life in ways that felt far larger than mere coincidence, is also experiencing this significant awakening. You may sense their presence in sudden intuitive flashes, in vivid dreams that feel profoundly real, or in unexpected memories that appear without warning. You might feel their presence like a soft, yet persistent gravity, a gentle pull in your chest, a quiet whisper in your intuition, a recognition you simply cannot ignore. This deep connection is not imagined, nor is it a mere projection of your desires. It is energetically charged, karmically destined, and profoundly real. Your destinies were intricately marked long before this current lifetime, and the intense activation you are currently moving through resonates simultaneously through both of your energetic fields. You are absolutely not walking this emotionally charged corridor alone. Somewhere, a soul inextricably tied to yours is awakening right alongside you, feeling the very same profound shift, sensing the same cosmic call, and moving through the same sacred doorway as you. The universe is aligning two distinct journeys, not to prematurely merge them, but rather to awaken what has always profoundly existed between them. You are not alone. You never truly were. As this profound transit deepens, you may begin to sense that time itself feels unstable, as though the very edges between past, present, and future have thinned to a translucent, almost visible membrane. What once felt like a linear progression, one event neatly following another, now feels fluid and porous, as if different eras of your life are quietly folding into each other like pages of a sacred book being rearranged by an invisible guiding hand. This is not confusion, it is, in fact, attunement. When the Sun enters Jupiter's domain, the timelines subtly loosen, allowing the intricate architecture of your destiny to gracefully move, breathe, and reorganize itself. You begin to experience time, not as a rigid straight line, but as a luminous constellation of profoundly meaningful points, each one shining brightly with an insight you were simply not ready to receive until this very moment. A seemingly random memory may suddenly flood your awareness because it carries a crucial message directly relevant to the very moment you are stepping into now. A vivid dream may echo the profound emotion of a future event you have not yet consciously lived. A moment of déjà vu may feel like a gentle breadcrumb, lovingly left by a wiser, future version of yourself. These are not mere coincidences, they are powerful intersections. They are profound reminders that your soul has always been both subtly ahead of and gently behind your human timeline, constantly guiding you toward the reality that resonates with your highest, most authentic frequency. As these timelines gracefully shift, you may begin to notice that decisions you made years ago suddenly feel as if they are converging with choices you are making in the present moment, meticulously revealing an intricate design you hadn't realized you were following all along. Individuals from your past may re-enter your awareness energetically, not necessarily to return to your physical life, but rather to powerfully show you how far you've evolved beyond their previous version of you. You might distinctly feel as though your future self is actively sending you signals, subtle pulls toward certain paths, sudden, undeniable clarity about what you no longer wish to carry, intuitive nudges that feel more like direct instructions than mere suggestions. The universe itself begins to rearrange its elements each time you align with your deeper, authentic truth. The more you courageously let go of identities and narratives that were constructed out of survival, the more the timelines reorganize to support your expansive growth rather than merely reinforcing your fears. Destiny no longer feels like something distant, waiting for you far ahead. It transforms into an active and ever-present force, gracefully wrapping itself around your choices, your perceptions, and your profound inner shifts. This is the pivotal moment where your life ceases to feel random and begins to feel wonderfully orchestrated. You are stepping into a multidimensional understanding of your true self, a profound realization that your soul has been meticulously weaving together every experience, every encounter, and every pivotal turning point to gracefully lead you into this exact season of awakening. What once felt like scattered fragments now reveal themselves as essential pieces of a single, magnificent pattern. Your awareness becomes incredibly sharper. Synchronicities increase exponentially. Every intuitive hit feels intrinsically connected to a larger, divine map. The timelines are not collapsing, they are profoundly aligning. And in that sacred alignment, your future begins to feel increasingly close, almost tangible, as if it is actively reaching toward you with the very same intensity that you are reaching toward it. This is where the theoretical transforms into the experiential, where destiny ceases to be a mere concept and becomes a palpable sensation vibrating within your very body. You are not imagining these powerful shifts. You are actively experiencing the energetic restructuring of your life's magnificent trajectory. During this powerful alignment, the emotional patterns you once believed were utterly random, inherently unfair, or simply a streak of bad luck begin to reveal their deeper, more profound instruction. You start to clearly see that every wound you carried held a crucial lesson. Every heartbreak contained a vital message. Every disappointment meticulously opened a doorway to new possibilities. And every single moment of longing was, in truth, a compelling call toward a truth you weren't yet fully ready to claim. Your pain was never a punishment. It was a syllabus, intricately crafted by your soul with the same precision, divine intelligence, and boundless compassion that the universe employs to shape the stars themselves. The relationships you relentlessly chased, the individuals you seemingly lost, the opportunities that regrettably slipped away. These were not failures. They were, in fact, powerful teachings. Each one gracefully showed you the parts of yourself you had not yet truly met, deeply understood, authentically honored, or profoundly healed. You were not repeating patterns because you were naive or inherently unworthy. You were repeating them because your soul was lovingly guiding you back to the fundamental roots of your emotional architecture, gently insisting that you learn the frequency of your own unique needs before you attempted to meet someone else's. As this profound understanding deepens within you, you may begin to see that absolutely nothing was ever wasted. The years where you felt utterly stuck were, in fact, years of intensive internal construction. The moments where you felt profoundly abandoned were actually moments where you were being divinely redirected. The pain that once felt unbearable now gracefully reveals itself as an initiation into profound emotional maturity and unwavering spiritual strength. These intricate patterns carved invaluable depth into your heart, so that when real love, truly aligned love, deeply reciprocal love finally enters your life, you possess the vast capacity to hold it without the destructive patterns of self-sabotage or fear. What once felt like a gaping emptiness was, in fact, crucial preparation, diligently clearing out the versions of you that were built on compromise and self-abandonment. And so, if old wounds resurface now, it is not because you are regressing, it is because those wounds intrinsically know their purpose has been fulfilled, and they are returning to be finally released, not painfully relived. There is a profound wisdom steadily growing inside you, a quiet yet immensely powerful understanding of precisely why things unfolded the way they did. You may suddenly feel an overwhelming surge of gratitude for experiences that once brought you to your knees, because you can now clearly trace the invaluable growth they forced you into. You may feel your heart softening toward people who once deeply hurt you, not out of naivety, but out of a profound sense of liberation, because you are finally stepping out of the unspoken emotional contracts you once unconsciously maintained. You are actively reclaiming the precious energy you inadvertently left in the hands of others. The hidden curriculum of your pain reveals itself all at once, and you intrinsically understand that every difficult moment meticulously shaped your emotional vibration to perfectly resonate with the magnificent life you are stepping into next. What once felt like agonizing suffering now stands revealed as sacred shaping. And what once felt like unbearable loss now feels like perfect, divine alignment. There is a specific individual whose energy has been intricately intertwined with yours in ways you may not have yet fully understood. Someone whose profound presence, whether physical, distant, fleeting, constant, or merely energetic, has consistently acted as a powerful catalyst for your own spiritual evolution. Their undeniable impact on your life cannot be accurately measured by the passage of time or physical proximity. It is instead measured by the profound resonance between your souls. You may not speak to them often, or perhaps even at all, yet their name spontaneously rises inside your chest like an unstoppable tide. Memories with them may surface unexpectedly, not to haunt you, but rather to gently remind you of the essential parts of yourself they beautifully illuminated. They have always stood as an unwavering mirror, faithfully reflecting back your highest potential, your unclaimed longing, your deepest inner truth, and your vast emotional depth. They mirror the unspoken, the unexpressed, and the emerging aspects of your being. And during this powerful transit, their spiritual imprint becomes utterly unmistakable. You may feel their emotions like faint echoes, subtly brushing against your own. You may sense them thinking of you in moments where your heart suddenly, inexplicably opens without warning. You may experience vivid dreams where your conversations with them feel more real, more impactful than anything you've ever spoken aloud in your waking life. This profound connection is not based on fantasy or projection. It is profoundly based on soul recognition. They arrived in your life not to complete you, but rather to awaken you. They gently pulled forth the courage to feel deeply, the clarity to desire truth, and the strength to choose unwavering alignment. Aspects of yourself that had been dormant. Their very presence activated you at a soul level. Even the pain sometimes associated with the connection served a vital purpose. It powerfully shook loose the old patterns that kept you small, afraid, or emotionally unavailable to your authentic self. This person is not necessarily your final romantic partner, nor are they guaranteed to physically return to your life. However, their indispensable role in your transformation is utterly undeniable. They are intricately woven into the very fabric of your spiritual development, serving as a living symbol of the profound love you are truly becoming capable of embodying. The connection itself operates like a sophisticated technology, an energetic mechanism specifically designed to accelerate your awakening. Time cannot dissolve it because it was never built upon the confines of time. Distance cannot weaken it because it was never built on the limitations of proximity. Something profound within you, and something equally profound within them, recognize each other at a frequency far beyond the physical world. And now, as this transit expands your inner vision, this sacred connection awakens once more. Not to create yearning or longing, but to activate unwavering clarity. They are the mirror that beautifully shows you what kind of love your soul is meticulously preparing you for. A love that is aligned, conscious, reciprocal, and intricately soul-woven. This connection is not an accident. It is a prophecy your heart has always intrinsically known. The shadow heart portal does not gracefully open without asking for something invaluable in return. It demands your absolute honesty, not with others, but first and foremost, with yourself. A pivotal moment arrives during this transit when you feel utterly stripped bare of all the rationalizations, all the carefully constructed excuses you once used to protect yourself from your own raw truth. You can no longer pretend you don't deeply care about someone you still frequently think of. You can no longer deny the profound dreams that relentlessly keep returning to you. You can no longer silence the powerful version of you that yearns for more, demands more, and intrinsically knows you are meant for something far beyond mere survival. The portal requires unvarnished truth, because truth is the sole currency your soul genuinely accepts. You may feel vulnerable, exposed, even frightened, because this level of profound honesty inevitably means your cherished illusions, the very ones you meticulously built to shield your tender heart, are now gracefully dissolving. Yet, this very vulnerability is the sacred opening your destiny has patiently awaited. Once the truth is acknowledged, even quietly within the sanctuary of your own mind, the portal expands exponentially. An energy that has been trapped for years, perhaps even lifetimes, finally begins to move. This movement is profound liberation. This movement is glorious rebirth. As the emotional activation intensifies, the fears that once held you captive begin to subtly, yet irreversibly, lose their powerful grip. Fears of abandonment, fears of rejection, fears of vulnerability, fears of being too much, fears of not being enough. These pervasive shadows have resided within your emotional body like staunch guardians of an old, outdated identity. But now, with Jupiter amplifying the sun's illuminating light, these fears are exposed for what they truly are, mere echoes of a former self that no longer matches the magnificent being you are powerfully becoming. You may feel an internal shift, subtle but utterly irreversible, where the fear that once paralyzed you now feels strangely hollow and insubstantial. The anxious thoughts that once spiraled into overwhelming anxiety now fall flat, unable to latch onto your heart the way they once did. It is not that these fears completely vanish, it is that you profoundly outgrow them. You step into a wider, more expansive emotional horizon, where courage becomes your natural, inherent frequency. This liberation is not loud or boisterous. It is quiet, steady, and deeply stabilizing. It is a profound reclamation of self-trust. You begin to feel more authentically like yourself than you have in years, or perhaps even in countless lifetimes. There is a profound reason you could never fully release the emotions, connections, or cherished memories that kept returning to you, no matter how much time passed. It was not mere attachment. It was not an unhealthy obsession. It was, at its core, resonance. Your soul intrinsically recognizes what your rational mind often tries to dismiss. And when the sun enters Jupiter, that profound resonance becomes utterly impossible to ignore. You begin to understand that the person, or the connection you still think of, was not meant to disappear. They were meant to profoundly transform you. They awakened something deep inside you that nothing else could possibly reach. They touched a part of your soul that had been dormant, long forgotten, or carefully hidden behind layers of self-protection. Your perceived inability to let go was not a failure. It was a potent signal, a profound sign that the story was not truly finished, that the lesson was not yet complete, and that the emotional cord between you is intricately woven across multiple timelines. You were not meant to move on. You were meant to courageously move through. And now, the universe is graciously revealing what lies on the other side of that emotional doorway. As this powerful alignment reaches even deeper into your emotional field, you begin to sense a quiet yet undeniably powerful transformation unfolding within you. You may feel more intuitive, more consciously aware of your emotions, more attuned to subtle energies, and more acutely aware of the synchronicities guiding your every step. These profound sensations are not temporary. They are clear indicators of your rapidly expanding identity. You are stepping into a magnificent version of yourself who is wiser, softer, stronger, and far more aligned with your soul's original, divine blueprint. The universe begins reflecting this profound evolution back to you through clear signs, vivid dreams, potent intuitive insights, and encounters that feel undeniably fated. You realize that you are not merely healing, you are profoundly evolving. Your heart is no longer the fractured vessel it once was. It is gracefully becoming a compass, a powerful transmitter, and a sacred portal. You sense a new, authentic confidence emerging within you. Not the loud, ego-driven confidence, but the calm assurance of a soul that finally knows precisely where it's heading. You are becoming someone who deeply trusts their emotional truth. Someone who intrinsically understands the deeper, intricate architecture of their destiny. Someone who is truly ready to step into their next magnificent chapter with unwavering clarity rather than crippling fear. The universe is not merely guiding you now, it is profoundly revealing you to yourself. As the illuminating light of Jupiter expansively permeates your emotional field, there comes a pivotal moment when your soul moves decisively ahead of your human self. Striding forward with a profound certainty you may not yet fully feel in your physical body. You sense this significant shift like an invisible pull, a gentle yet undeniable force coaxing you toward crucial decisions you have long postponed, heartfelt conversations you have carefully avoided, and uncomfortable truths you have delicately tiptoed around. It feels as if something ancient and wise within you has finally taken the lead, as though your intuition has bravely stepped out of the shadows and confidently assumed command of your entire journey. You may suddenly notice yourself being drawn to things that once deeply intimidated you, or inexplicably repelled from situations that once felt comforting and familiar. This is not confusion, it is, in fact, perfect alignment. Your soul is meticulously recalibrating your trajectory, subtly adjusting the very path beneath your feet so gently that you only truly realize the magnificent magnitude of the change once you look back and observe how profoundly differently you feel. You are no longer being driven by the relentless forces of fear, external expectation, or mere survival.